We have created a series of videos to discuss Texas' long range plan for technology and how you can create a custom plan for your district. First, let's talk about who these videos are for and how to use them. Who is this for? This is designed to guide every district to create their own long range plan for technology. This can also be used to guide individual campuses and classroom teachers. Let's talk about what you will need to best utilize these videos. First, your team. Who in your district is a vital part of the technology conversation? How can you involve the necessary parties and decision makers? Second, bring your creativity. We all face new and evolving challenges daily as we do our best to serve our students. Our technological resources are important and exciting tools that create opportunities for us to think outside the box as we work together to plan for technology and education. Third, download the workbook associated with this module. We will be reflecting on what you're already doing, what you want to begin, and what your goals are. We will be talking about big ideas in these interactive videos. The workbook is a vital part of the process. See the link below to download your workbook now. What are some of the things you'll see in these videos? As we go, you'll see an orange box like this pop up periodically. These definitions will help expand on what we are discussing. You will also see this white folder. This is to remind you to check out the resources that help expand the topic being discussed. These videos are meant to be interactive. We will provide opportunities to pause the video throughout to reflect or make notes in your workbook. So go ahead, pause this video now to gather your supplies and print the workbook. Download using the link on your screen. What is the LRPT and how is it structured? The Long Range Plan for Technology, the LRPT, is an outline of strategic goals for technology in Texas and is intended to be used as a visionary guide to inform and influence educators as you make personalized decisions for your learners. The LRPT is structured into 6 strategic goals. Each strategic goal has 3 focus areas defined within it to help guide strategy creation. Each focus area is further broken down to include the biggest challenge, suggested actions, and short and long-term outcomes. The larger LRPT structure informs how to use these videos and how their resources are structured. There is one video for each of the 18 focus areas. This will allow you to watch the videos in order of what's most pertinent for your district. Each video will introduce the strategic goal and one focus area within it, digging into the challenge, each suggested action, and the short and long-term outcomes. Now, let's look at the LRPT structure as a whole. Remember, the LRPT is first broken down into 6 strategic goals, incorporating statewide trends in technology. Goal number 1, personalized, flexible, empowered learning. Goal number 2, equitable access. Goal number 3, digital citizenship. Goal number 4, safety and security. Goal number 5, collaborative leadership. Goal number 6, reliable infrastructure. As you think about how these goals relate to your district, remember that every school district is unique, so every conversation will be unique. While many share a great deal of challenges, like budget, competing priorities, and security threats, each technology plan should be tailored to individual needs, opportunities, and constraints you have. It's because of this uniqueness that the larger goals are further broken down into 18 individual focus areas. Each focus area reviews challenges, suggested actions, and short-term and long-term outcomes. We will be expanding on this framework during this video, guiding you to build a plan that serves you best. Because it's most likely that you will go through these videos and topics as needed instead of the order of the document, we have built a reference guide to help you easily find where you are in the document, what's next, and what focus area you are in. LRPT will be the first part of the reference description. Next, you will see the strategic goal listed as G, followed by the goal number 1 through 6. Then, the focus area will be highlighted as F, followed by the focus number within the strategic goal, 1 through 3. Lastly, the current section of the focus area will be listed. This could be either the challenge, indicated with a C, one of the actions, indicated with an A and the number, or the short-term or long-term outcome, indicated with either STO for short-term outcome or LTO for long-term outcome. Look for the reference diagram and reference notation in the corner of the slides throughout the video. The fifth of 6 strategic goals for Texas Long-Range Plan for Technology is collaborative leadership. Broadly, collaborative leadership is creating intentional opportunities for shared leadership and sharing of ideas and planning. To create an environment where this can thrive, it is important to establish group goals and norms, to use discussion and dialogue to work through conflict, to develop problem-solving and decision-making strategies to ensure all voices are heard, and to ask what-if questions, to communicate openly with one another. Remember to pause this video to print your workbook if you haven't already. Now that we've introduced the strategic goal, let's review the focus areas. There are 3 focus areas to help guide the realization of this goal. 1, strategic planning. 2, shared services. And 3, state collaboration. Let's zoom in to focus area number 2, shared services. For the purpose of this video, what are we referring to when we discuss shared services? Sharing services is the practice of expanding IT services within and among organizations according to similar needs. This helps address many needs, one of them being the ability to fully leverage external funding sources. Shared services allows agencies to focus limited resources on IT applications and supporting business functions, resulting in improved operational efficiency, optimized delivery services, cost savings, and harmonized operations. For more ideas on shared services, check out the resources below. Each district will approach shared services in a slightly different manner as you make decisions aligned with your unique needs. That's why each focus area is broken down into the main challenge, action steps to be taken, and short and long-term outcomes to watch for. First, let's talk about the challenge of expanding IT services through shared services. Remember to download the workbook as a tool to collect your notes and reflections. The shared services model can transform business processes and smooth out the rough edges in your operational model. When you look at the various business units of an organization, there are many services that play an integral role in supporting the daily operations of different departments. We will be focusing on IT services in this video. When you think about what your current model looks like or could look like, think about the drivers for shared services in general. These could be cost saving, increased service performance, reduced redundancy, focus on the core business, and improved organizational learning. Pause the video here and use your workbook to note what drove the adoption of shared services and what you are or would be addressing. Before we think about the actions you can take to implement or build on your shared service model, let's reflect on what specific challenges you experience or expect to experience around operational governance and staffing systems for maintenance. Pause again here and use your workbook to write the specific challenges around operational governance and staffing system for system maintenance in your district. We know the challenge. Now let's think about our first action. Action number 1 is to leverage existing shared services. As you begin to think about what this may look like, it can be helpful to start with this question. What existing shared services or freemium programs have been effective in other education service centers or organizations? This could look like reaching out to education service centers as well as other organizations, both public and private, to find out more about what existing shared services, including freemium programs, have been effective. Pause the video here to write down ideas for who you could find out more about existing services from. Just like everything in technology, there is always something new to be learned or built, even in shared service models. What ideas for new models have you explored for additional cost savings? The centralization of expertise can have an enormous impact on an organization's ability to effectively deliver services. It's okay to get creative as you build this out for your district. Use the resources below to learn more about shared services and how to leverage them for your district. Pause the video here and use your workbook to brainstorm ideas for using new models. Let's move on to action number 2. The shared services model can transform business processes and smooth out the rough edges in your operational model, but it's vital that the model is based on your unique values. At a high level, these values could look like engagement, innovation, or safety. What shared service models can be developed based on your business values? Pause the video here and write in your workbook which values you will lean on as you develop shared service models. As a result of developing these types of models based on values, you are creating a consistent IT landscape for your district. This could have 2 factors, including a consistent user experience and a consistent messaging and values experience through technology use. Use the resources below for more information on creating a consistent IT landscape. Pause here to use the workbook to reflect on how you are developing shared service models that reflect your values and promote a consistent IT landscape. Now let's move on to action number 3. Action number 3 in developing shared services is to obtain executive support for IT governance. What does executive support for IT governance look like in your district? Thinking through what executive support could look like entails reflecting on the individual or the role that would be most beneficial for support and what actions this support would require them to take. Pause the video here to write in your workbook who that support would be and what you would need from them. Being very clear in this action allows you to continually develop and deploy shared service solutions. Now that we understand the challenge and have some actionable ideas, let's look at outcomes. The short-term outcome of focusing on developing shared service models is cost savings and a focus on improved customer relations. If you were to define what improved customer relations looked like for your district, what would that include? Think about how this could impact various customer relation areas, including personal assistance, self-service, automated services, or co-creative services. Pause the video here and note in your workbook how customer relations could improve as a result of this focus. Reducing business operation costs is another important outcome of this focus. If you were able to reduce operation costs, how would you then be free to use these resources to reach other goals? Use the resources below to better understand how this short-term outcome could be relevant to your district. Pause this video here and use your workbook to write down how cost savings could enable you to reach other district goals. Lastly, let's review the long-term outcome. The long-term outcome of this goal is better usage of IT as a service, enabling IT leaders to focus on mission rather than directly managing administrative services. What would IT leaders focusing on mission rather than IT administration allow the district to experience? How could IT leaders push your district toward your goals faster with IT as a service? Use the resources below to learn more about using IT as a service. Pause the video here and use your workbook to brainstorm on how your IT administrators could better use their time and knowledge. We've covered everything for this focus area. Now what? Continue to reflect on what you are doing and what you have done in support of this focus area. What obstacles and successes came to mind during this video? Who else should be included in this conversation? Find your team. Who is needed to move this focus area forward? Use your workbook and the provided resources as a starting point for a larger conversation around this goal. Start with action 1 and work with your team through each action step to make this a sustainable and customized plan for your district. The ideas you're writing in your workbook will be the material you use to build your district's LRPT. How will you use this reflection process to inform your plan? Lastly, write a short summary statement for this focus area. How would you summarize what you've done and what you need to do for this focus area based on your work so far? Pause the video here to write down your summary statement in your workbook. Thank you for your work to transform Texas education through technology.